So Bob, tell me a little bit about where you were born and what it was like to grow up there.
Well, I don't know much about that because I was born in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and at 9 months old, we moved to Minneapolis, where my father joined his father in a small business. In July of 1971. Uh, a 17-year-old boy made a mistake and pumped the wrong fuel into my father's plane up in northern Wisconsin. And the plane, he put in jet fuel, which doesn't burn in a 100-octane engine, and he got a couple miles away from the runway, and the engines quit. And I lost a grandfather on my mother's side, and my father, and 4 other people were very badly hurt. But when that plane went down, it changed all of our lives. And so 30 years later, I'm with some people in Kalamazoo, and I've never been back after 9 months. And we're driving along, and I said to them, "Stop the car, would you please?" True story. And I got out and walked over 2 sets of railroad tracks, and I touched this building. I said, I think I lived here. I said, "Mom, did we live in a 2-floor building over the railroad tracks beneath the football stadium?" And she's, "Yeah." I said, "Did we live in the upper left-hand corner?" She started to cry. She said, "How would you know?" I said, "Mom, I'm just telling you the story." And I touched the building. I could feel it. My father worked all the time, and my mother was the disciplinarian and made all the decisions, and so, but it was good.
So Bob, you've done so many things in your lifetime. What was your very first job, and what was that like?
A friend of ours had a number of clothing stores in Minneapolis, and I was hired at $1 an hour to fold sweaters or shirts that people had picked up or tried and just thrown down.
So I don't even know how many years we did it, but one year we got all their boot size. So we brought boots over to these kids, and a lot of these kids couldn't bring them home because then their parents would sell them for drugs or whatever. So they could play in the playground with their boots on. And because of these parents were so not involved or drugged out or whatever, they wouldn't even bother to send the shoe size, and that was part of the deal, that you had to send. So we showed up, and there's these kids thinking they're gonna get boots, and the principal's like, the parents didn't send anything, and you were just like...
I learned really watching my mother and her friends, and they were involved in something called the March of Dimes. And what they were doing, these were places that you would give your dime to at grocery stores or whatever, and the monies that they raised went to purchase children's toys. And I remember our basement being full of children's toys, and that these ladies would come over in a group, 6, 7, 8 group, and they would spend an afternoon wrapping these gifts. You mentioned also our cohabitation is just so compatible, and as I said to Gina during one of our off takes, that I adore you and love you more than I did 40 years ago when we met. A lot of people ask, what makes your relationship work so well? And I think coming full circle, it goes back to the R word, respect.